Hey guys, so today I want to be looking at some bigger trends, starting with the weekly, and again using this similar strategy of RSI and MACD to see if we can make any predictions or just generally have a look at what the market is looking like based on these indicators. So first of all, what's worthy to note is that we have this downward trend, obviously, with the RSI, but look at these numbers of the trend angles. So we have 43, less than half, 18, half, 9. Okay, so if this were to continue in this progression, we would maybe see something like 4 or 5 degree angle over here. Okay, with another lower low. I mean, of course, this is pure speculation, but this is certainly a possibility based on how it's trending so far. Now, looking at the MACD, which is of course one of the best signs for a trend reversal, we look at the lowest point over here, okay, which is right here, this 810 over here, okay, and then we see what's price that corresponds to, and that would be the close of this candle over here, okay. So the close of this candle is 7,047. Now we look at the next candle, which was lower than that, and if we're doing this strictly speaking, the next candle which is lower than that price is this one. So if we look at the close, it's at 6,800. So that's a $200 difference, which is pretty small. As you see, it's a 4% change in price. We have that 4% change in price. The MACD came down by, actually, it was a bit more than 50. If we go to this one, it was 57%. So the MACD certainly, the histogram here certainly came down by a significant amount, but the price just did not come down by that much. Okay, and of course, not to mention that the RSI was just getting lower and lower from here. So there was no strong buy signal here. So yes, the MACD was going down, yes, but the price was the change in price was so insignificant, and there was no higher high on the RSI. So is this a place to buy? No, not really. Okay, that's why there's a question mark. So if we take out this one, now we look at just for simplify this, I'll take this one out as well. So now we look at the next point. So over here we have another lower low, and here the price difference is gone from the 7,047 down to 6,134. This is 4 times the price difference that we had before. So this is certainly a point to watch out for. Okay, this candle right over here. Now let's look at the RSI and MACD. And we see that the MACD has come down. Actually, it came up a bit over here, but it's a 50% change from this previous low. So this is quite significant. And as you see, we did have a small uptick. But that being said, I wouldn't have bought here. I wouldn't have used this as a strong signal, for the simple reason that we don't have this very strong the trifecta, which is again the decrease in price, increase in RSI, and increase in MACD. When I say increase, I mean incline over here. Okay, so if we look at RSI, yeah, it's still coming down. So it's not really a strong buy signal, but nevertheless, this has caused a small increase in price. So if the bear trend continues and we see new lower lows, we might expect this to hit another lower low, or maybe it hits a double bottom over here. And then, of course, the price would have to come down to about the 5,000, 5,100 to 5,000, well, 5,000 to $5,400 level. And at that point, of course, this incline would be larger. This would most likely not come down much further than this line. So we would still have about a 50% increase here with a bigger incline over here. And then, of course, if the RSI double bottoms, or if we see this incline getting smaller, that might be a stronger sign of a buy signal. But in general, there's no strong signs of buy signals yet on this weekly chart. That should be noted. The only positive thing is that this bear trend is slowing down a bit here. Now, if we look at the 3-day chart, here we saw something more substantive and more substantial, I think is the word actually, using substantive evidence, of course. So if we look over here, we see a price of 8,268 coming down all the way to 7,000. So this is, of course, is a large change in price. It's 15%. Okay, we combine that with the MACD, which came down by, if you just click this, 75%. Okay, 75% change. I mean, that is huge. That is very big. With combined with the 15%, and then of course for the beautiful trifecta, the RSI with a slight increase over here. So you have an increase in RSI, incline in the RSI, incline in the MACD, decline in the price. So boom, what does that mean? It's a clear buy signal. Okay, and what happened? Boom, we came right up here. All right, this was really no surprise. But now things are getting a little trickier. So we have, this was 15% in price corresponded to this 28. Actually, this is, I'm sure this is entirely accurate. This trend, the trend line is not really that necessary to compute, to be honest. When you look at the percentage in price difference is already is it enough, I think, but I like details, so I just did that as well. Now, if we look at this next one, where we have this yellow arrow, so is this a sign to buy? So let's have a look at the numbers. We have a 7% decrease in price. Okay, that's half of what we had before. The MACD from this point to this point has come down 44%. Okay, that's also a lot less than the 75% we had here. So, and of course, unfortunately, the RSI has certainly not come any higher. It's quite a clear lower low. So really, this is not a clear buy signal. I mean, it has led to a small increase in price, but this is according to using RSI and MACD only. Has not been a clear buy signal. Now, if you look on the daily, I posted that about a week ago. There was a pretty clear buy signal, or at least for an aggressive trader there was. And now we're really waiting to see what happens. I mean, of course, it would be great if we can break out bullish and go up, but I feel like we need some capitulation, something like this to happen, something like this to happen, boom, you know, where the whole market just panics and goes crazy. And you know, it might be down this 5,400 level. I mean, so many chartists are looking at this. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we do something like, you know, we have just an explosive downward push down to, let's say, like 4.8 or something, which, you know, or 4.7 or 6. Because, I mean, it sounds bad and it's certainly scary, especially if you're hodling and you're not trading much. But this is the kind of thing which really, you know, squeezes those shorts, or which has the potential to squeeze the shorts and just explode upwards, as we saw here, you know, exploding upwards, down and exploding upwards. That's what we really want to see, and we haven't seen that yet. And then we, of course, want to see this spike in volume. Look, volume, boom, volume. Actually, we had a pretty big spike over here, but we were so high up that, you know, we were in the skies then. But then, you know, we came here, and then another spike in volume, and that's what you need for the push up, okay? But look, we've just had steadily decreasing volume here. It's really not the greatest sign. So I unless there's some positive fundamental news, I don't see how. I don't think it's very realistic to think that we're gonna start uptrending from here without retesting this previous low and potentially probably even coming even further below that. I mean, if you look at this, not considering MACD or RSI for a second and look at this parallel channel, you'll see that you know, we could very easily come down to test this bottom of this channel at around 4.7K again. Not again, sorry, but again, testing this channel again, and that might be the push up. And in terms of the RSI, what I would be looking for is, I mean, we have the RSI is you know, we had, of course, this very steep decline over here. Now it seems the RSI is struggling to create stronger lower lows. I mean, we had, you know, a higher high here. This is, you know, a lower. From here, it's only 2 degrees, okay, angle. So, you know, we could do something like this, but it's unlikely that we just kind of drop hard here. But you know, even if we do something like this, and we fall here, unfortunately, this will be a lower low for the RSI, meaning it won't be a super clear buy signal. But on the 3-day chart, you will rarely see that. On the 1 day is a much better chart to look at for trend reversal. This is really sort of more bigger picture stuff. But yeah, that's it for me for today, and let me know what your thoughts are, or if you learned anything, or if you have any feedback.